Round of applause. Round of a fucking applause. It is so good to have a piece of Terminator media that doesn't suck. Although, to be fair, I will never stop singing this game's praises either. So, Terminator Zero. This was highly anticipated by a lot of people. The first Terminator anime, and it had a lot going for it. It had a pretty strong cast to it. It had so much going for it. And I'm not going to spoil anything for this review because as of this recording, it just came out, so I know not everyone's been able to binge watch it. It is only 8 episodes, and roughly they're under 30 minutes apiece. But they pack a lot in those 8 episodes. I was actually worried for a hot second that they were just going to be like, all right, we're just going to, mosey on to our next one. And there is a few lingering plot threads, which I feel like they either go nowhere or they're going to continue in a second season if they get one. I hope they get a second season. Although I will say how this show leaves off, it kind of ends in a way where you could almost not need a second season. Like, it's very much, it's a very Terminator ending. And I mean, like, good Terminator ending, too, so don't worry. So, like, I'm just going to say that, like, if this show doesn't get another season, it kind of ends in a way where you're like, oh, neat. I could deal with, I'm not going to be mad. I'd be bummed if we didn't get a second season, but the way it ends, it's like, oh, I mean, that's not awful. It's not an awful way to end it. Doesn't leave on a cliffhanger. Anyway. I mean, it kind of does, but, like, it doesn't... It's not like a... I'll explain later. Anyway, so for those wondering what this show is about, Terminator Zero is the story of set in 1997 Japan during the hours before Judgment Day, when this scientist named Malcolm Lee is working with a AI he built called Kokoro to combat Skynet and prevent it from wiping out humanity. Now I'm giving you, and then a Resistance fighter and a Terminator both travel back to the past in order to kill Malcolm Lee and keep Kokoro from coming online for different reasons. So, I mean, it's kind of interesting to see, like, both the Resistance fighter and the Terminator going after the same target rather than be like, I'm here to protect you. Nope, that's not the case, because Kokoro is like that idea for Legion. If you guys remember Terminator, what is it? Not Genesis. The one that brought back Sarah Connor. It brought back Linda Hamilton. Terminator. Fucking who cares? You know the one I'm talking about. That one. So that movie brought in another AI that was like an enemy called Legion. And here they're using that same idea where it's not Legion, but it's the same kind of premises where it's it's just as powerful AI coming online to kill or save humanity. It's a fascinating concept. I really like it. What I really like is that this feels like a celebration of Terminator without doing all the without like doing all the Easter eggs. It does reference like other events from T1 and T2. And shockingly, they do bring up how time travel works and why there's so many splintering Terminator sequels. Like, yeah, all the Terminator movies suck, but yeah, we have an explanation for it. Kudos. Like, I'll give you that. I'm also surprised this show was very resistant in doing like. And this is something I knocked Alien Romulus for, where it did like a line where it's like, "Get away from her, you bitch!" And I was like, "Oh man, did we have to use that line?" It didn't even make sense in context. But here, they don't use any line. It's like they don't use like "Come with me if you want to live" or "Get out" or any line. I was waiting for that the whole show, and I was like, I'm actually pleasantly surprised they didn't do like they didn't stop dead, do say the thing, and move on. I'm actually surprised. It's almost like you can do a franchise and not be dependent on the past a franchise's glory. Who fucking knew? You could stand on your own. So, yeah. This is also I really loved how they use the T-800 in here. The T-800 feels like the original Terminator. Scary, almost unstoppable, just this almost unkillable machine coming at you again and again and again. It's nice to see the T-800 not only as a villainous thing, but also as like nigh unstoppable. Like, I really love that. This is by far the goriest Terminator thing ever. Like, not even the movies got this brutal. Like, there are some kills in here that just make you go, oof. Man. And the animation for the fight, mwah, chef's kiss. There is just some great fight sequences in here, and I really loved the animation, and they don't skimp on the animation. This show had a budget. I mean, it's behind Studio IG and Skydance, so their money for this. There was like legit money for this series, and it shows. Although I will say there are some points where I do feel like they kind of cut corners here and there. I'll talk about this real quick. Essentially, there is a few scenes, like minor scenes, but you can clearly see them, where they go 3D animation. And there is 3D animation, but used in good light. But there are times where it's just a character sitting or doing a walk cycle, and it's 3D, and then it cuts to 2D, and it's really jarring. I really didn't like that. It's few and far between, but still, I was like, man, that's super jarring. That is, I don't like that. I genuinely do not like that. But yeah. As for the characters, I really enjoyed a lot of them. I will say there are some, like the kids themselves, they're pretty good. Kenta is pretty obnoxious at times. Hiro is just kind of there to be the glue of the trio, and Reiko is the smart girl. She's almost like she's the one with the head on her shoulders and also the most emotional. Yeah, the character, Malcolm Lee himself is pretty. I was gonna hate him. I was starting to really hate his character, but then you see like there's more to him, and trust me, there are more plot twists in the last 3 episodes then you can like there are so many plot twists you almost think that M. Night Shyamalan was directing this, but like good M. Night, not like, you know, old M. Night, like old or trapped M. Night. This is like legit, like really good twists that help with the film, help with the story. And I will also say that Aiko, I can't remember how to pronounce her name, but Aiko is a really cool resistance fighter. She's not like Kyle Reese at all, where Kyle was like, he didn't kill anyone. He wounded cops and people who got in his way to protect Sarah, but he was like, no, you're human, I'm not going to kill you. Here, Aiko is like, who fucking cares? Like, you are collateral damage in my mission. It's either they die or we all die. So I like that. I like that we have a character who is not like a carbon copy of like Kyle Reese, because that's what they did a few times with a few other characters in the movies, where they try to make them all good and like, oh, we're here to protect you, and, you know, all human life is sacred. Nope, not Aiko. She's like, fuck out the way. either get out of the way or get put in the ground. Those are your options. The character of Misaki, I kind of figure out, and you probably piece it together too, what she really is. I'm not going to spoil it for those who haven't seen it, but you probably figure it out by like episode 2. But then they do another twist and another, and it made me go, oh, I didn't see that. So I appreciate a good twist that I think I know where the story's going, and then it jerks right and goes, nah, bitch, you didn't know where we were going. Yeah. Also, Timothy Olyphant, I don't know how much money he got, but I think he got overpaid, because I think he only had like 2 minutes maximum total of dialogue. I think if you put it all together in one scene of all the times Timothy Olyphant voiced the Terminator, it's about 2.5 minutes tops. I don't know how much he got paid, but he got that money for little over, like, less than 3 minutes of dialogue in total. Rosario Dawson as Koriko, Koriko. she's good. I think she does a great artificial intelligence voice and giving that artificial intelligence personality. Yeah, the English voice dub cast is really solid. I will say Oliphant, while he does a decent job as a Terminator, I don't think he was the right pick. I feel like we should have gotten someone else, because it just feels like his voice to that character, that kind of that Southern Texas drawl, which is a good voice, don't get me wrong, it's just not fitting this Terminator. But hey, I hope he got paid, and I hope he got paid well for his services. Anyway, so do I recommend Terminator 0? Abso-fucking-lutely. It's so good to have. It's so weird. Why can't we have stuff like storytelling like this in the movies and like in the video game? So far, we've only got 2 good movies, a underrated, flawed but albeit good video game, and now a solid anime. Why can't we have more good movies? I know, James Cameron said he's working on a new Terminator project, but at this point, why? We've peaked. Just focus on Terminator 0. Anyway, so there you go, guys. That's my review for Terminator 0. You guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of it? Comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.